Well, Governor Cuomo's budget has left towns and villages scrambling after learning it eliminates an important line of state aid for most of them.
And 2 News Side's Dave McKinley reports on the impact that this will have on the towns, and the state lawmakers vow to fight it.
It's been a busy day on the phones for Tonawanda Supervisor Joe Eminger.
Supervisors in Tonawanda, Amherst, Cheektowaga, other municipalities have all been reaching out to and talking to each other.
After learning the governor's budget eliminates the aid and incentives for municipalities or AIM program for most of them.
What's everyone saying?
They nuts? They can't do this. It's going to decimate our budgets.
Cuomo proposes eliminating $49 million in state aid to 91% of the state's towns and villages. The only ones getting any are those for which the aid comprises more than 2% of their total budget. So while on one hand, AIM only makes up 1/2 of 1% of Tonawanda's budget,
when you're dealing with a $100 million budget like I am, we're going to lose almost $600,000, potentially lose $600,000 in AIM funding.
Tonawanda is represented in the State Assembly by Robin Schimminger.
It strikes me as being capricious, arbitrary, and unfair.
And the dean of the Western New York delegation to Albany says the governor is in for a fight on this.
And this would be, for me at least, and I bet for many others, a top priority to keep it coming at previous year's levels.
Have you gotten any answers as to why the heck they did this?
No, we haven't.
But legislative sources tell us they believe the move may be part of a bargaining ploy by the governor, who would restore the aid in exchange for something else. But while they play games in Albany, Eminger and his colleagues have budgets to put together.
This affects our 2019 budget, this if they eliminate the AIM. And we're going to have a gap. We're going to have a budget gap.
There's something else. AIM for cities is being left intact. Cities largely vote for Democrats, like the governor. The rural and suburban parts of the state comprised of towns and villages, not so much.
You don't think there's anything to that, do you?
Well, that may be a secondary factor in the governor's mind, but or maybe it's the prime factor. I'm not sure.
Is there politics going on here?
I don't know. That's above my pay grade.
If these Cuomo cuts aren't restored by the state legislature during the budget process, the total loss to towns and villages in just Erie County alone will be well over $5 million. This morning, we reached out to the governor's office for an explanation. As is fairly typical for that office, though, no one has gotten back to us. Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News.